My 33F husband, 34M, played a cruel prank on our son. How do I get him to make this up to him? We have been married for 8 years and have a 7-year-old son. They are both truly joys in my life and we get along well most of the time. We have a tradition that a week before Christmas, we would open a present early. Our son has been talking on and on about how he wanted the PS5 Pro, and I assumed that my husband would get that covered as I already spent my money on other Christmas gifts for him and the rest of our family. Our son opened the big box that was presented and the box said PS5 Pro. The weight was even pretty similar to a box with the PS5 Pro. When he opened it up though, all he saw were rocks and a t-shirt that said "Number 1 Dad." I was furious, but my husband was laughing and said that he used his friend's PS5 Pro box to pull off this prank. I insisted he make this up, but he fired back and said THST, our son should be grateful at all that he gets paid attention to, as many fathers are deadbeats. How do I get him to make this up to him? Other fathers are deadbeats. Wow, what a great dad. He's not a deadbeat, he pays attention to his son. I don't like pranks like this. The only outcome is that the kid is sad and the dad laughs. Number 1 dads don't do pranks like that. I would return the gifts for the husband and get your son the PS5 from the money. I mean, your husband should be grateful that you're paying attention to him. He doesn't need a gift. Return any gifts you got your husband and buy your son a PS5. Then give your husband a box with a stupid t-shirt and some rocks. Is the PS5 coming later? IDK about that deadbeat dad comment. Having a bully as a dad sounds like it sucks too. There are so many more constructive ways to say, I can't get a PS5 for you, instead of gifting something so selfish. Your husband is a jerk. That was absolutely a cruel joke, and the only one who was going to find it funny was your husband. He doesn't care about your son's feelings, he's more upset that you didn't think his prank was clever. I feel bad for your kid, having a dad like that. This man is the joy of your life? How can I, 31F, better support my gay husband, 31M, who doesn't want his family to abandon him? My husband, 31M, and I, 31F, have been married for 6 years now. My childhood wasn't exactly pleasant. There was a lot of violence, traumatic experiences and substance abuse. All those things left pretty deep scars, including a fear of any kind of physical intimacy or relationship. My husband, on the other hand, grew up in a very strict and conservative home, and his parents have always demanded a lot from him. I was bullied a lot at school, and I didn't really have friends until I met my husband at high school when we had to do a project together. He was a popular guy, and I kind of expected him to be a jerk, but he was actually very nice. We became friends, and eventually he trusted me enough to tell me his biggest secret. He was gay. I didn't have any kind of problem with that, but he told me that his parents and other family members would disown him if he ever told them the truth. They'd made it very clear how they felt about those people, and his mother had even said once that she would be nothing but ashamed if any of her kids ever turned out to be that kind of thing. So, after receiving a lot of pressure from his parents, my husband asked if I could pretend to be his girlfriend and drop by a few times so they would get off his back. I agreed, but things kind of escalated from there. My husband loves his parents and siblings very much, and despite their attitude, he doesn't want to lose them. I told him I didn't have any interest in physical intimacy or relationships, so he asked if I could consider marrying him. He's my best friend and I love spending time with him, so after many long conversations I agreed. It actually wasn't a bad solution. We live together, but we have separate bedrooms and he's free to date whoever he wants. He's not comfortable openly dating men, so it's mostly during business trips. I feel bad for him for having to hide a part of himself from his family, but he's made it clear he's not going to tell them. I guess my question is, how can I better support him? We're friends and he knows he can talk to me about anything, but I feel I'm not doing enough. It sounds like you are already truly supporting him by being his wife. It also sounds like he supports your desire for companionship without any physical intimacy. Honestly, it seems the two of you have found the perfect solution that works for both of you, at least for now. I'm sorry he has to live in secret, and your support is probably invaluable to him. You married him and you're keeping up the pretext of being his opposite-sex spouse. That's already above and beyond what even the best friend in the world would do. It's unfortunate that his family is so intolerant. But if he believes the best way to manage is to stay in the closet, presumably until they pass away, then just helping him keep his secret is about the best you can do. But if your own childhood independent of him still plays on your mind, you should absolutely get into some talk therapy to deal with that. Might I suggest asking this in Ask Gay Men or even LGBTQ mental health instead? This sub here just has a strong bias for judging the lens of heterosexual relationships that you're not going to get a lot of informed, nuanced responses like this situation requires. Because it's a goddamn doozy. Being raised in a strict religious, conservative household like this while being gay causes so much Trauma. As is evident by your entire post and situation. I strongly, emphatically suggest his considers finding a therapist who has experience with LGBTQ issues and religious trauma. This is a baby step and doesn't require he give up his family or tell them anything, it's purely for his own benefit. You're already doing it. It's incredibly kind. This is his decision, and you're supporting him in it. I don't think you could do more, you're already going above and beyond here. If he's ever ready to make any changes or be more open, maybe just make sure he knows that you would support him in that as well, and through anything. Best of luck. My aunt and uncle married because both were gay. This was in the 1940s. Everyone knew, and accepted them as is. I grew up knowing they were gay, and having no idea what gay meant. I met a 30s-ish couple last week who are married and he is very obviously gay. They seem very happy and content together. I wondered how she could possibly not know. But your story makes it make sense. All that to say, love him for who he is, and be his best friend. Have his back. That's how you best support him. I'm not even gay and my family has abandoned me. I became a better version of myself, and my family doesn't like that. If his family abandons him, they have shown him their true colors. He would be better off with fond memories, and not being with people who make his memories bad. How can you better support him? You married him. I'm not sure what else you could do. The only thing that springs to mind is encourage him to go into therapy to help him deal with these family-related issues that he's struggling with. I'm sure you're supportive, but perhaps a professional is called for? My husband 28M is disappointed I 27F didn't do more for his birthday? My husband's birthday was recently and I planned lunch, an afternoon at a museum, and a Michelin star dinner reservation. I also gifted him a sports jersey he's been wanting. He says this is the most mediocre, disappointing plan I could have possibly come up with. He has previously mentioned it doesn't feel special if what we do for his birthday isn't on the day itself. So planning things for a Thursday was the task, and there are definitely fewer options than on a weekend, but I made sure to keep our plans on the day of. He spent the entire day telling me how nothing I've ever done has been good enough. He screamed at me that taking the day off of work was a waste of his time and spending time with me was just going to piss him off. He repeatedly stated he was hurt and disappointed that I didn't do something extravagant. All this comes from someone who has said the entire time we've been together that he doesn't want celebrations. And now he wants something extravagant? We have been together for 9 years, and while he's always been someone who gets angry easily, this is the first time he's ever said his birthday wasn't enough. Did I miss something? Anyone have any advice on what I should have done or how to make it up to him? Anyone have any advice on what I should have done or how to make it up to him? You should have cancelled the meal, returned the jersey, and spent the money booking him anger management classes. What you can do now is tell him that if he doesn't get a fucking grip and learn to behave like an adult, you're out of this marriage, because you will not be his verbal punching bag any longer. I suggest you also make sure you have a bag and a place to go in case this self-indulgent irrational rage baby turns physical. You deserve so much better than this. I've been married 20 years and my husband has lost his temper with me on perhaps 3 occasions. And that was 3 too many. You are not supposed to scream at the person you promised to love. Info. What does he do for your birthday? He sounds like an ungrateful asshole. If nothing is ever good enough, then stop doing anything at all. What would you tell your best friend in this situation? Do you really think that his reaction is an acceptable way to behave to underwhelming birthday plans? And you sound lovely and extravagant to me. It sounds to me like you need to be kinder to yourself, not worried about making this up to him. He sounds abusive just from this post alone. I imagine he speaks to you this way often and you're so used to it that it's normal to you now. It's not normal, though. Get out while you can. What does he do for your birthday? It seems like he's off. As if he is fishing for problems. I have audio proof my 28 male girlfriend, 32 female, is cheating. Please, how do I confront her? This started after her Christmas party. I was away for work. When I came home I noticed a man's watch in her bag, maybe no big deal, but why does a watch come off at a work party? Anyway, fast forward a couple of days and I'm stood watching her empty the bag before putting it away. Emptying everything other than the watch. A couple of days ago I overheard a work call and her saying, I haven't told him anything. I feel too guilty, so I immediately confronted her. She got angry, asked if I trust her, etc. I felt awful, either she's cheated and not confessed, or I bad an awful assumption. So today I did something I'm not proud of. I set up something to record in her workspace. I hear very quietly a couple of questionable things. I then listen and hear, to the man who the watch belongs to. It actually turns me on. This professional talk, followed later by, speak to you tomorrow, kiss, bye bye baby. How do I confront her with this? Even last night she was talking about us buying a house on the other side of the world. What would the people of Reddit do, armed with this? Edit. Thanks everyone. We have no financial ties, kids, etc. Her parents live in another country. We're in the UK. I keep making sly digs, she's not biting it. As long as I've got you it's all good, etc. I'm actually out all day tomorrow, while she's working at home. I'm sure more explicit stuff will be said, let's see. Saturday we're supposed to be out and staying with friends and family for a few days. Saturday I will unload the proof and get her out. The person who said talk about plans for the future and bring this guy up is the plan. Thanks again. I'm angry as fuck but such is life. Why confront her? She's cheating. You know she's cheating. She knows she's cheating. Just say you're breaking up with her and you don't want to put any more energy into discussing it, bye. I would ghost her. Just leave without a word so she's left in her guilt and confused. You don't. You just leave. Bro, you're worried about a confrontation while she's sucking another dick lol. Grow a fucking pair and leave. You break up. What's the best possible outcome you're hoping comes out of confronting her? She comes clean, admits she was cheating, promises to never cheat again, and you just pretend it never happened. Come on bro. Out of curiosity, why do you feel like a confrontation is your first or only choice? You don't want to pack up her stuff and leave it on the porch or just leave? Do you think talking things through will be beneficial?